Hey guys, this is Jesse Zaragoza with iRake Mentality Podcast. Thanks for tuning into the show. Our purpose here with iRake Mentality is basically to unite the baseball community in Chicagoland and beyond with former pros, current pros, men's leagues players, little league coaches and dads, fathers, travel teams, hitting instructors, and basically building the community for a bigger purpose here. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the show. Hey guys, this is Jesse Zaragoza with iRake Mentality Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to iRake Mentality Podcast number 2. We have a great episode here ahead for you guys. We got our guest, Branden Comia, which is top 10 hits leader at University of Illinois. That's a pretty big statement right there. Let's just keep it at that. You're going to get to know him a little bit better. But real quick, I want to bring up, we have a co-host on iRake Mentality. This was in the works before our first episode, and I'm very excited to welcome back Ryan Vega as our co-host for iRake Mentality for future episodes and all. So here he is. Welcome back, Ryan Vega. What up, bro? Welcome back, man. Thanks. I'm glad to have you now as a co-host. Are you excited?
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I know we kind of talked about this, kind of from the very beginning, but after some contract negotiations, and I will say the contract does look like it's deferred, kind of like Shohei Ohtani's contract, but we got it figured out. He knows my weakness is tacos, and that's all I really need. Just really happy to be here, and but ultimately, yeah, just excited to get into it. Me personally, I've never met Branden, so I'm excited to get to know him on a deeper level. I know what he's done at the University of Illinois, which is pretty awesome so far. So just excited to get into it. But yeah, moving forward, just gonna have a lot of fun and excited to talk some baseball.
Yeah, baby, let's talk some baseball. We already got comments flowing in. We got Gil Vega from Vega Baseball. Pops right there, baby. Hey, you gotta show love to Pops, right? All right, without further ado, episode 2. We got Branden Comia coming right at you. Here we go.
40 in the safe, still paying late fees. I just got the crib with a cute 8-piece. They gon' bust it open just to get the gate key.
Comia with his third double. Here comes Comia
from a play, I'm for real. Instead of
to
saying
the wall, and it's gone.
Let's get the triple, we ain't hit him, I'm for real.
There he is.
I got some work to do on this, but what's up, Branden? Thanks for joining us, bro.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Man, I am excited to have you. When you told me you were going to come on, I was like, dude, this is going to be awesome. So we're going to get right into it. Ryan, this is Branden. Branden, this is Ryan.
Nice to meet you, man. Yeah, no, I mean that hype video puts mine to shame right now. That's awesome. And that just it doesn't even go into the stuff that you've done, which is I think everyone can see you're a consistent hitter, right? You kind of bring some excitement to the game, and kind of excited to get into it. But yeah, it looks awesome so far.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Seriously, thanks for having me on. Like I said, Jesse, there's no way I can turn you down, so I'm glad to be here.
Bro, I'm excited. What was that like second base? So when you were at second base and you're dancing, who comes up with that shit at school? Like,
oh, dude, I was getting sturdy.
Yeah, that's just
that was the trend. That was the trend going around at the time.
Okay.
It wasn't the greatest, but
you got to have a second base celly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hit that double, you got to have it. Third, even if hitting a triple, that's different as well. But yeah, nowadays there's even singles get celebrated. So yeah, I love it.
I would just be happy to get to second base, dog. When they hit the ball.
It might, it'll take a while, but you'll get there.
A couple more lifts with Mike. No, but thanks for coming on today, Branden. We're gonna get to know you on this episode. We're gonna show a couple highlights. We're gonna talk a lot about your career and where you're at now and what your future looks like as far as a baseball player. Well, first we're gonna talk about a little bit about you. Let's get to know Branden Comia, right? Branden Comia. Where did you fall in love with the game of baseball? When did you find out that I love baseball? This is what I'm pretty freaking good at. When was that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what Ryan said on his episode, but just kind of came from my dad. He kind of really didn't push baseball on me, but that was always his favorite sport, kind of what he did. So that's kind of where it all really kind of started for me. Just kind of playing catch with him and throwing balls at me, stuff like that.
Where did you grow up at? Was it in Orland or where Chicago or?
Yeah, Orland Park, like 3 minutes down the street from Sandburg. So.
And
Yeah.
you grew up there your whole life? That's where everything started. Did you
Yep.
did your dad put you into like travel ball right away, or was it like little league? How did it start?
Yeah, I think I started travel when I was like 8. It was kind of like the Metro League, it was called. So like kind of, part-time travel. But yeah, that's kind of where I got to start with like the Orland Park Warriors, which that's kind of who I'm working with mainly now in like trainings and stuff. So kind of cool to go back there.
Okay, yeah, it's full circle, right?
Yeah.
I feel like when you're playing at such a young age, you're playing in house leagues or early travel teams, and
Mhm.
it's very hard for kids to stay focused at any level nowadays. So to be able to get a group of kids at 8 years old, 9 years old, to have that common goal and actually get through a game, is awesome. But that's usually the age that I find most guys start playing baseball, is around 8 or 9 years old. Obviously there's t-ball before that, but right around that age, yeah, that's really when you're experimenting maybe with other sports as well. But I don't know, there's something about baseball. It's contagious, right? It's
Yeah.
something that I enjoy playing more than any other sport for sure.
Now, were you a shortstop from the jump, or did you play different positions growing up?
Yeah, I was kind of bouncing around. At first, I started as a catcher, but I didn't like catching without knee savers, so that kind of tells you how long my catching career was. But yeah, but after that, it was mainly kind of shortstop infield. It's kind of
Okay. I see a lot of transition between short and catchers. Like Buster Posey was a shortstop converted catcher at Florida State. One of the best catchers of all time. That's insane. So we have a picture here. It's you and your father. This is not Orland Park, bro.
What are you talking about, dude? That's 135th.
That's Orland Park.
Kidding. No, I'm kidding. That's in Hawaii.
That's Hawaii?
Yeah, that was in so my mom, she used to teach. So she did her student teaching in Hawaii, lived out there. So that's kind of been like our vacation spot since we were kids. So my dad just brought like these little wiffle golf balls and that stick. Yeah. So he was just throwing them in kind of like our resort area we stayed at.
How old were you in that picture? Because I was looking at it. I was like,
yeah,
gotta be like 9 or 10?
Yeah, probably 9 or 10, right around there.
So. And you already got that front
good form. Yeah, you got the A-frame down,
I'll tell you what, man. This is kind of what you were like. I thought about it when you were kind of bringing up the age groups, but when I was like that age, I was horrible at baseball. Like when I first started off, I was absolutely.
So you weren't always a natural that you are now, right? You
no,
gotta work for it.
No, not at all. And it's kind of like what we were, I don't know, kind of going over, but it all kind of starts with, someone, saying something about you that's a little negative, and you kind of have two choices. Am I going to lay down there and take it, or am I going to do something about it? So that's kind of my basic story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're 9 and 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You start playing house ball like everyone else. I guess that's where they start. When did you start doing the travel stuff?
Yeah. So that was, I was on a team from 8 to 9, and that's kind of where it started. Like I was the worst player on the team, like, playing 3 innings a game, playing the outfield, whatever. And then my coach, I remember telling me like, hey, try out for a different team. You're not good enough for us. That's it. You're basically getting cut. So I remember after that, I kind of came home, told my dad, like, look, I want to play baseball, and I don't care if I hate you by the end of it, but, I want you to push me every day. And he did that for me every single day. So
that's wild.
Man, I feel yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my biggest question is just like, what made you, because if you're bad at something and you're just experiencing so much failure, and really baseball's fun when you're winning, right? When you're doing well. Baseball's very, can be a very, tough place to be in when you're in a slump and when you're not doing well. So like, even after failure, what really made you be like, no, this is still the sport that I want to play. I want to stick with it. I want to get better no matter what, even though I've been, not doing so well.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I think kind of what made me start that was just I didn't like someone saying that to me. I never really loved baseball at that point, but then once I kind of, me and my dad were going out to hit every day, things like that. I think that's when I really was like, wow, I love doing this. I always loved being in the cage, always loved taking grounders. So that was I think that was like the start of that for me. It was just kind of learning what it's like.
We were talking about that earlier, I think before the show, and we were saying how like every baseball player, any good baseball player, has always been told you're not good enough. At one point, or it doesn't matter if it's 8 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old. At one point in our life, you're told you're not good enough. And I think the good ones and the great ones, they like take it into a ball and they let it like feed and they use it as fire. You know what I mean? And then you got the other ones that obviously just buy into whatever someone's saying and kind of quit. And I think that's what makes ball players great. It's like when someone tells you you're not good enough, it drives that fire to another level.
Yeah.
And I know what you were saying about the dad thing. I mean, me personally, like it drives you to be like, Dad, like what you said, like I don't care if I hate you at the end of this, I want to be great. And I think that every ball player has gone through that with their dad because their dads could be tough. I'm tough on my kid, and sometimes I have to hold back. And I remember I'm like, yeah, I guess it's just a rite of passage at this point. Like you gotta hate me at one point to know that you're getting better. But I think that's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So one of these pictures here, I bring the picture back. What picture is this on the left? Because that uniform I've never seen.
Yeah, so that was at what's called like the area code games.
Okay.
That was something that for me was always like kind of a goal to get there. So basically what it is
the area code games?
Yeah.
Explain to the people that don't know what that is.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of what it is, it's basically like a big showcase tournament that happens once a year. It's like sponsored by New Balance, and kind of the biggest thing about it is, there's pretty much every college out there in the country. Like all the big colleges are out there recruiting. There's a lot of MLB scouts, a lot of MLB front office there. So it's just like a kind of big exposure tournament out in Long Beach, California. So that was always kind of the goal. And I think there's maybe like 6 or 7 teams. So it's kind of divided by like regions. But so I was on the White Sox because that's our region. So they basically selected like 25 dudes to go from, I think 17 states is what they cover. So yeah, so when I got that call, I was like, I remember calling my parents like crying, like, oh my God, it happened.
What position did you play?
Yeah, I went out there, just played short, third, and second. So they kind of just bounced you around and just get you as many innings as you could.
So there was probably like another like 3 at each position you're swinging, or what, like 6 guys that play second, short, and third?
Yeah, probably around there. And then you had obviously like some utility guys that kind of bounced around all over.
And what age group was that?
I think that was when I was about like 15 or 16. So freshman, sophomore year of high school.
Okay. And so in 8th grade, did you always know you were going to Sandburg?
Yeah, that was kind of always a thing. And like I did go on go ahead.
So private school was never an option, like the St. Lawrence's, the Marist, the big hitters that want to recruit you.
Yeah. I mean, I did kind of take my tour around, did like visits and like shadow days, stuff like that. But so the one thing is my dad's from like the north side of Chicago, and his thing was always like, why did we move out of Chicago if we were just going to send you to a private school? Like we moved out here for Sandburg. So that was kind of the deciding factor. And then my hitting coach growing up. Yeah. And my hitting coach growing up was like the first base coach on the varsity team there. So I was like, I might just kind of, stay the path.
Oh, he wasn't letting you go, bro. There's no that coach was not letting you go to no private school.
Yeah, no way. No, he wouldn't. But
that's awesome.
It was awesome.
I know Sandburg. Sandburg's got a great baseball pedigree. They're one of the top schools in the state of Illinois for baseball year after year. Yeah, they're in a tough division now with the Lincoln Ways and stuff. But I know a lot of players that went there. What was when did you play varsity as a freshman, or did you have to wait like a couple, like me, I had to wait a little bit to play varsity. Did you play right away, or what was it like for you?
Yeah, so I made the varsity team as a freshman, and I kind of played right away. So I started at third base pretty much. Well, ever since I started my high school career, I played every single game, like didn't miss one. So it was kind of like the first game I got in the lineup, and then it was kind of it from there. I just stayed in there.
That easy? Just one game? Like,
Well,
We like
it was like basically what happened was like the shortstop from the year before tore his ACL, and the guy who played third base was his buddy, and he was like, "I'm not playing." So it was like, I mean,
just kind of
obviously
perfect.
not a great opportunity for him, but like it kind of opened up some doors for me.
so you went to Sandberg. Did you play with some of our guys in the men's league that play in overall, like Andy Gaitan or Matt Owens? Did you play with those guys at all?
Yeah, I did play with both of them, and they're both awesome. I love them to death. Still hit with Andy when he dragged me out there, but yeah, they're awesome.
Shout out Andy Gaitan, bro. What's up, bro? I know you're watching. Andy's definitely watching, man.
We've played together. So him and Maddie, they were on a couple of teams together with me so far. So Nuevo Leon in the Benito Juarez League at Petrowski. So we've won a couple of championships there together, and then out in the Chicago North men's baseball leagues, we were on the Aces. So we would play the Rippers a lot. They've won most of the ships there, but we've been on a team, together for a while. I think this year was the first year none of us really played together. I think we've played, for the most part, the past 5 to 7 years. But yeah, they're great guys. I mean, Andy, great lefty, awesome arm. Maddie is a fucking, he's a guy in himself. Like,
he's a pitcher.
And when he's in the zone, he's so fun to watch, and he gets in a rhythm, and Maddie slings it. So yeah, it's fun playing with both of them. So I'm sure you're very similar as well.
Those Sandberg boys. My brother's a Sandberg guy. He was a Rita guy first, though. He was Catholic League like me, but he ended up going to Sandberg. He loves Sandberg more, though. Yeah. Sorry, Rita.
How could you not?
I mean, how could you not? The brand new field, which I don't think you had. Right?
No,
you didn't.
No, I like to say our group earned it, though. That's what
you guys paid the way.
Yeah, that's what I like. To say.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Rita, my boy Lou Soto, all them boys. My dad's a Rita guy, but St. Lawrence all day. St. Lawrence all day. Oh, what's this picture about right here? So we're going right into high school, but I skipped something that I found researching you as I research on my guests. I probably know Ryan more now than I ever did, even as a friend when he was playing with me. What's this picture right here?
Yeah, so that's a great
your own card, bro.
great signature. Now, so this was like kind of something that honestly came out of nowhere. It was that same summer I did the area code games. Mm-hmm. And like, so basically USA Baseball was having this like showcase kind of camp thing. And then they had some guy like drop out last minute, I guess, or something. So my college coach, who I had only met like one time at that point, he was coaching there, and he's like, "Hey, I have this guy. He's coming to Illinois. Can we bring him on?" And so they brought me on just by luck. And honestly, it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. It was in Chicago, so it was.
Where'd you play in Chicago? Yeah,
so we played at the main camp was at Northwestern, so we were there for like 4 or 5 days, and then the very last day we got to play at Wrigley, so that was awesome.
Who'd you play against?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, just like another USA, like same guys that were there, so they probably had like 75, 80 dudes there total, and you just split it between like a Stars and a Stripes team.
Oh, damn! So that's a lot of exposure there too, then.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Would you say that like exposure is the number one thing when you're getting recruited out of high school?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, obviously now it's a little different with just kind of, how big like social media is blown up. I feel like, when I was playing, especially like if you were posting like your highlight tapes or something, everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's cocky." But now it's like something completely different, which, I think is pretty cool. But just kind of gets your name out there. And yeah, but when I was playing, it was mainly just like tournaments and kind of word of mouth stuff like that.
Okay. So your senior year at Sandberg, as we're moving forward here, your senior year at Sandberg, how was your team? Like, were you the 3-hitter at Sandberg your senior year? How did your team finish?
Yeah, so my senior year, that team is probably to this day like the best team I've ever played with, like as far as camaraderie, how much fun we had, stuff like that. But
Is it this team?
yeah, so that year we won what's called like the Stevie Bajensky tournament, so like the Stevie's Way tournament, which was just obviously like Stevie Bajensky's Sparks guy, and really it just kind of embodies like his work ethic. So he never let anything hold him down, and that's kind of what their motto is. But that was kind of the first year they let any other public schools into the tournament. Typically, it was just like Catholic schools, Chicago Catholic schools.
Because Stevie was a Rita man, right?
No, he was a Carmel guy.
He was a Carmel guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Carmel basketball players.
Yeah, so that was awesome winning that kind of, like our first kind of go around in that tournament. That was awesome. But we ended up coming in like 4th that year in state or something like that.
Cool. You want to know a tidbit about Stevie's Way? My
What's up?
brother was voted MVP of the Stevie's Way tournament his senior year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sandberg. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got the whole plaque and everything. I was like, damn.
That's awesome. That's a great foundation that they have, and just I love everything they do.
You won that tournament, right? That's the trophy?
Yeah, we won the tournament, and then so basically Stevie Bajensky was a Sparks player, and he had some conditions, and like basically doctors told him, he couldn't play, and he kind of just said, screw it, I love baseball, I'm going to work my butt off, all that stuff, and that's kind of what their program's all about. So every year for the Sparks, they do like a Stevie Bajensky award, and kind of embodies like, guys who work hard, play the game the right way, all that stuff. And I ended up winning that Sparks award too that year. So it was cool to win the ship.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're a Sparks guy?
Yeah, I grew up through
Cangelosi?
Yeah. Well, it was Illinois, and then kind of as I was getting out, that's when it transitioned to Cangelosi.
Okay, and I have a picture here. I know with Cam here, but that's it right there, right? The Sparks.
Yeah.
So I know the Sparks, they're one of the top teams in Illinois, right? With the top tier Americans and the Sparks and whatever else might be out there. There's hundreds of them now, but those are the two you hear about.
Yeah, just a big program. They do some good stuff over there too, like trainings, all that stuff. They have a great facility. So,
did you ever meet Bo Jackson?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I love Bo.
I have a signed jersey in my room from him, actually.
Dude, hook me up, dog. I need to sign Bo Jackson jersey. What were you saying, Ryan? You were saying something?
No, I was just saying, yeah, they've always been a powerhouse. Like the Illinois Sparks have been around for a while. I remember back in my day as well. They were around, but they were always a larger organization. So, they always produced studs. They had great guys coming out of those teams always. So I remember playing against them, but I feel like I was hopping around travel team to travel team, and like I would play 1 year for a travel team at a time. But there was guys that played on the Sparks for years and years and years. So definitely a good organization.
Definitely. The Sparks, baby. And again, Vic, my brother Vic, he keeps coming up. Vic, I know you're watching, dog.
I know. He better be watching, dude. I told him he might learn something from me. I'm just kidding.
So you're now you're a senior. You're ready to graduate, right? You're moving forward. Talk to me about your recruiting process. So we've promoted this podcast today for you and everything, and people know that you did go to University of Illinois, but that's D1 ball. What was the recruiting process was for you, and what ultimately made your decision on U of I, and what other schools might have been after you?
Yeah, so I had it was kind of different for me. So I had known that I was going to Illinois. Like I committed to Illinois as a sophomore, so probably like February of my sophomore year. So I had known at that point, for a while once I did graduate. But what really kind of made my decision to go there, right, like kind of made me choose, was they had a lot of Sparks guys that were there already. So like guys I had kind of grown up with, like saw it working out, stuff like that. So like guys like Michael Massey, who's the second baseman for the Royals now, he was at Illinois. Ben Troike was his shortstop for the Sparks. He was at Illinois. So it was kind of just like an easy transition, kind of knowing guys there, as well as like the coaches were awesome. love Coach Chris, the assistant there. Coach Hartlove's awesome, and just the whole staff they've always had are just great.
Now you're at U of I. Did you play short like right away? I know that college is way different. Like you got to earn your stripes and you got to do everything. But like, what did they have you doing as a freshman?
Yeah, so kind of throughout the whole fall and like right before the season, they really had me at third base, and that's kind of where I thought, like, all right, I'm gonna be fighting for a spot here. And then once winter break rolled around, that Michael Massey, who he was the starting second baseman since he was a freshman, had won a Gold Glove the year before. So I was like, there's no way I'm playing over this guy, right? But he like had some back injury happen to him over winter break, so he couldn't hit at all, or he couldn't field at all for the first like half of the season. So that's kind of where I got in. They're like, all right, Massey's out, so you play second while he DHs. And then once he kind of came back healthy, I was on the bench for maybe 2 weeks. Felt like the whole season, but
Okay.
our shortstop broke his thumb, like, and was out for the rest of the year. So then they just put me in at short after that.
Damn.
Yeah. It's sometimes, it's just being in the right place at the right time. But I think that's the great thing about baseball as well, is that you have to be ready, right? Like, there's a lot of guys that get those opportunities, but maybe inconsistent, and then it's another thing for a guy to step up and then, turn out to be the, top 10 in hits, right? So it's like, if you get that opportunity and you're waiting on it, there's a lot of hungry ball players out there. So, someone's going to take your job. You got to be ready.
That's true, man, because like even in business, even like outside of baseball, I've always been told by mentors and everything, it's just like seize the opportunity. That's it. You're going to get one shot, seize it. And if you seize it, the world's your oyster, right? But in your case, you seized it, obviously, because it doesn't look like you left shortstop, right, for the remainder of your 4 years.
Yeah, well, so I was at short then after that. So for the second half of my freshman year and then all the way through till my fourth year, then they moved me over to third, and then I played there my fourth and then my fifth year, which the shortstop that they moved that took my spot, I'll say he's a dog. He's got he's
shout him out. What's his name?
Elijah.
Oh yeah,
that boy. Yeah, Oswego boy.
Dude, I'm an Oswego boy.
I know.
Oh shit, that's right.
I know.
Hey, ask him if he ever won a 7A state title in football for Oswego. He didn't.
Yeah. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I guess if he took your spot, that's what it is. That was your senior year, you said? No, it couldn't.
Really? So that was my fourth year, and then my fifth year I played third as well.
Really?
Yeah.
But like, what is he, 6'3" or something? Where's he at right now?
He's playing. He's back at school. He's playing indie ball. Just trying to find a spot. But yeah, he was like, he's one of the best defensive players I've ever played with. Just an unbelievable baseball IQ. Like he always knew where to be, always knew what was going on, and
is he a Sparks guy?
Yeah,
no,
he was a Sparks.
He is a Sparks guy too.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, the Sparks are where it's at, I guess.
I think at one point our Illinois team had maybe 13, 14 guys that were from the Sparks.
Well, I got to get my son into Sparks somehow. Sparks, if you're listening. Oh, man. So, let's talk a little bit about college. Let's talk about this picture right here. Boom. Who's that? Who's everyone in this picture here? I know that's you in the center.
Yeah. So, that was my senior day. So, obviously, the two people right to my left, that's my mom and my dad. So, shout out to them. They've always been at every game, and they're my world. They're awesome.
Wait, that's your dad? That's your mom with the flower and your dad with the bucket hat?
Yeah.
Dude, he's swole.
I
know your brother.
Yeah, I'll tell him you said that.
He's okay.
Yeah, but then the guy next to my dad, that's our associate AD. The guy behind me, that's Coach Hartlow. He was our head coach. Love him. Shout out Dan. And then I would never call him that to his face. But
No.
Never. And then my brother, Jaden's right next to me in there. And then my cousin, Jared, who played at Illinois as well. So my brother and my cousin were both at Illinois with me for at least 1 year.
Really?
Which was awesome. And then the guy in the oranges, he was our AD, Josh Whitman.
Okay. And your cousin, he looks kind of like an outfielder.
He is. Yeah, he's a lefty
Okay.
lefty. Yeah, he's
a
tall
lefty.
too. Yeah,
Where'd he get his height from?
his mom's side.
His mom.
Yeah,
All right, so it makes sense, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. And in the background, they had you up on the jumbo screen too.
yeah.
Where
So,
would you rank University of Illinois baseball field to all the others that you played at?
man, they're doing a lot of work on it, which is good.
Mm.
But honestly, just the field itself, I freaking love that field. I always would joke around with guys on the team like, dude, I hit 300 points higher at home. Like, wind was always blowing out, and it just felt like it was kind of a bang box. So I loved playing at Illinois Field.
At home? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my favorite fields too. I know, Ryan, you have your favorite fields where you probably hit better too.
Well, that's the big thing that he just said. Like the wind's blowing out. I hate how many fields nowadays. I mean, and it might just be through men's league and some high school fields that we play on, but I feel like some of these fields always the wind's blowing in.
Yeah,
and you
it's
get
like
there, you're like,
they made them the wrong way.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And obviously, both teams have to win somehow, but it does take you out of it sometimes. And if you're not a bigger guy, you have to adjust your game a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're at U of I. I have a couple highlights here. I want to talk about here. Here we go. Boom. Let's talk about. So you have so much content, bro. You made it so you both, honestly, Ryan being my first guest was amazing. With you have a ton of content, and I want to show the people watching here your content because your content is pretty sweet, man. I want to talk about this one right here. It's a web gem because you said you played third base, right? You played third base earlier in your years, and I think this is a third base shot. I want to show here. Here we go.
Second
No,
pitch.
that's a shortstop one.
Ground ball. Comia's got it. Can he make the play? Good scoop.
Yeah.
He's out.
How good was number 17 as a first baseman? Shout him out.
Justin Janis. I mean, that dude, Justin Janis. You're right.
Janis?
Yeah, he won the batting title in the Big Ten, so that should tell you how good he is. He rakes.
Dude, really?
Yeah, he
I
rakes.
heard the name. Where's he from? He's local, right? He's a Illinois.
Lockport. He's from Lockport. Went to Marist.
He's a Marist guy.
Yeah.
So okay, so a lot of Lockport guys like Benny Calasano. I know Frank Diaz, a bunch of Lockport guys. They make them in Lockport, bro.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
out. This is the one I wanted to show though because I wanted to show the first one. Here we go. Sorry, I was running through them. This is the one where your freshman year, right?
And this is rolled.
No,
Great
this
stop
was
by
my
Comia.
fifth
Back
year.
to his feet,
Okay.
across the diamond, and Westcott picks it. Cam
Who's
Love
Westcott?
can't believe it.
Talk about that guy.
But Comia
That guy rakes too. That's
Yeah?
Drake's my guy. That guy
Really?
hits bombs.
Is he a lefty?
Yeah,
hitter?
lefty. Yeah,
Lefty hitter, righty thrower.
yeah,
Damn, me and him would be best friends.
yeah. He did. He did it the right way for sure.
Yeah, all right, awesome. And your web gyms are cool. I know we have a couple here. What's your favorite part, hitting or defense?
Oh,
A
I
web
think I
gym
gotta
or a
go.
bomb?
Yeah, I think I gotta go bomb.
A bomb?
Yeah,
Dude, let's show one real quick. This is one that's really cool because there was bases loaded though. And those are rare. And I know I looked at your stats, but look at this one here.
He delivers. Comia sends that one high in the air into right field. And that ball is out of here. Branden Comia. Grand slam.
Grand slam number 3 this season for Illinois. Grand slam
heard
number
he
2
gave up
this
half a mile, now you
season for
see it.
Comia. Big swing by the senior.
One thing I like about U of I, bro, your uniforms have to be one of the best in the whole country.
yeah. I loved our unis. They were awesome.
Dude, every
I-
single picture I see, I'm like, dude, those uniforms are sick.
I like that we still had the vest for like the longest. I love the vest look too.
The vest one?
Yeah.
I think I have this
Yeah,
one?
but yeah, I did like those jerseys, but that grand slam. So there's actually a crazy story with that. So that was on my final senior day. So that was my second to last at bat at Illinois ever, and So like, you know how sometimes you have those dreams and then like 3 months later it like happens in real life.
Yeah.
So there was these 2 kids at every game. And one of them, his name was Caden. He like would just stand by the dugout since I was a freshman. I would always talk to him, and he was just, like came to every game. So that year, my 5th year, I had a dream that like he was doing this. We have this like kid announcer at Illinois, so they always bring up a kid from the crowd and they announce for that whole inning. And I had a dream that like I hit a home run when he was announcing, and that was the first day they brought him up, and he like said my name as I walked up to the box. So that's like who I was pointing at. I was pointing at him.
What?
Because it was like the craziest thing that ever happened to me.
And that was your second to last at bat ever?
Yeah, Illinois. Yeah.
Dude. So that was your last game ever then?
Well, it was like my last at bat at a home game. So
At a home game?
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
damn.
But yeah, it was crazy when it happened.
Were you on the U of I team that like went to the College World Series, like the tournament?
No.
You
That
never got
was
to the tournament? I know
No,
one
well-
team that beat Vanderbilt, didn't they? Like one team like beat Vanderbilt at the end of the year to go to the tournament with Dansby Swanson.
so that was like 2015. We hosted. We were like the number 9 seed or something. So I wasn't there yet, but they hosted the super regional and they played Vanderbilt, and Dansby got drafted on our field actually.
That day, I saw it.
Yeah,
on
they did.
ESPN.
But they beat Illinois in that series, and then they won the College World Series that year.
And then that's the year. See, okay,
Yeah.
and then you showed up the next year.
Probably 4 years after that.
Oh, damn! That shows you how old I am. I'm thinking it's yesterday, and that was like 8 years ago.
No.
Man, Dansby needs to step it up. If you're listening, Dansby, which I know you're not, and if you ever see
Dansby also played on an all-turf field. Yeah.
Yeah.
the turf is, I don't like turf. I know defenders like you guys probably love it. I hate it.
Yeah. What do you think, Brandon? What would you prefer? I mean, obviously, it's easier, but some people really don't even like it. Sometimes the grip is weird on cleats. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, we always kind of had this debate, like a super, super nice dirt field or a turf field. I'm always taking dirt if it's super nice. But if it's like average,
That'd be nice.
if
Yeah.
it's average, I'm taking turf all day.
Yeah.
Not even gonna worry about it. But yeah, sometimes in college, we were fortunate enough to play at really nice stadiums, and like they drag it after every inning. So, like, I'll take those fields all day.
When in college, like who did you play that you were like, it was your wow moment? Like, dude, I'm really standing on this field right now against this team. Like, what team was that?
Yeah, I think honestly, it really didn't hit me till like my sophomore year, probably, of college. We played in this tournament in Frisco, Texas, and it was Friday night. We were playing like number 23 Texas A&M, and they had this pitcher named Asa Lacy, who I think he got drafted like 5th overall that year. He was starting against us, and I was like, I remember walking up to the box, and since like we were in Texas, there was probably like 4,000 people there, 5,000 people.
Damn, they love their baseball in Texas.
Yeah. So I was like, that was the one moment I was like, wow, this is insane. But
What'd you
yeah,
do?
Oh,
Can't
against
leave
him,
it.
I don't think any of us got a hit against that guy.
Did you at least walk?
Seriously, it was like a 0-0 ball game till like the 8th inning. But that game, we ended up winning. I hit the go-ahead single to win the game later.
Damn, that's sick.
So that was crazy.
Did you ever play against Miami at all?
No.
I like Miami. That's my school, dog.
Yeah.
That's what I root for.
There you go.
Who was like the top pitcher in college that you faced besides that guy you just told us? Was that him?
Yeah, it would probably be him, but I mean, I don't know. There's a guy named Max Meyer who went number 6 overall that year. He was a pitcher from Minnesota. I think, to me, probably the best pitcher I faced in college was this guy named Rhett Lauder from Wake Forest. That dude was disgusting.
Yeah. 96 plus?
Yeah, 96 plus. He threw his changeup more than his fastball. So his fastball was just like a get me over, probably 94 mile an hour, ran like 6 inches. And he would just pitch off his changeup, and he was nasty.
Get me over 94 miles.
Yeah,
exactly. With that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it felt like. I remember I was talking to the hitters. I'm like, dude, this guy's throwing a heater 94 as a get me over. Like, what are we going to do off this guy?
You better. I'm sure you guys did fine. You're all the same. You're all D1 athletes, man. Like,
Yeah,
at that point, something's got to give, right?
yeah, but he was probably the best I faced.
I like this one. So I am a big Kyle Schwarber fan. I'm a Cub. I was a Cub fan for a long time. The Cubbies, the 2016 Cubbies. Kyle Schwarber gets drafted number 4, I think, overall from Indiana.
Mhm.
I know this is probably before your time, but I seen this video that you sent me here, and it's one of my favorites because it is against Indiana, and Indiana's a baseball school. Like, and here it is.
3-1 lined into the gap in right center field. That's going to split the gap and roll all the way to the wall. Dollagale being waved around third. It's a double for Branden Comia, and Illinois on top 1-0 in the 5th. 16th double of the year for Comia as he drives in the first run of the ball game.
16th. He said 16th double of the year. Was that the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah. So that was the Big Ten tournament they hosted at Omaha, which is like where the College World Series is. So it's pretty cool playing there for sure.
Did you win that game?
No, we lost.
You lost.
No, we lost. Yeah, we lost. But it was funny. I don't know if you saw like when they kind of panned to the dugout, everyone's sitting there like rubbing their head.
Yeah,
it's because like the night before we all in the hotel room we all shaved, like half our team shaved our heads just to get it going. But
that's some motivation.
That was the selling.
I don't think I would shave my head before a game, but I would do some crazy shit though. Have you ever done anything like that as a team, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty. It's either that or sometimes guys they'll dye their hair blonde, right? So then the whole team will go blonde, or they'll shave their heads, or everyone does a mustache, or or some weird stuff, or just has weird facial hair in general. So yeah, so I get it. Yeah, I've seen. I think we've all seen, right? Just like so much weird stuff that can go on, but it's all in superstition. It's all to bring the vibes up and to try and win ball games. So I think that's another aspect of baseball that makes it pretty fun to watch.
Sweet. I got this other one here. So he's my nephew. Technically, he's my nephew, Mikey Cantu. He's going to Indiana State. He's a junior transfer. The kid went crazy in JUCO ball last year, or in the year before. Yeah, like you know who he is?
Yeah, I played against someone. I was playing with my stint with the Rippers. He was playing for Addison.
Okay, he's a beast, dude. Like he's a monster. And this clip here. You're against Indiana State, and I know Indiana State had a monster year last year. Like I was watching them; they went like 53-17 or something crazy.
Yeah, they're good.
They went at Illinois here, 2-2 ball game.
Yeah.
What I'm starting to notice is you like the low inside pitch.
Dude, I'm a low ball hitter all day. I can hit anything above like my belt. Seriously.
Bro, I would not throw you anything low.
that guy pitching, so we would play Indiana State like in our fall games because our coaches were friends. But that pitcher was nasty, and he had my number for like the first 2 times we faced him. So I was happy to get that one off him for sure.
Was he breaking you off sliders or what?
Yeah, sliders, and I think he was sitting probably like 3 to 5 on the left side.
Dude, that's crazy. So one cool thing about college, and I try to incorporate it. We're in men's baseball, me and Ryan, and one thing we like to incorporate with our teams is having fun. Doing the crazy shit when you hit a bomb and everyone goes crazy. I think that's what the memories are all about. It's like the post home runs or the post walk-offs and the celebrations and one of the cool things I did see, and I hope this is the video right here, which I think it is. I was going through them earlier. Is this one? It's one of the coolest celebrations that I've seen, and I would steal it in a heartbeat. It's the boom. I don't know who came up with the boom, whose idea it was, but that's pretty baller. And I'm not sure if this is the video or not. Oh, it's not the video. I don't know where it is.
I was waiting.
Yeah, but you get into the dugout and you're just like, boom, and everybody's like going nuts, and like you're just hyped, like veins popping out.
Yeah,
I think that was the at bat though, wasn't it?
I think
was-
so.
That
Yeah,
was
I
the
think
one.
there might be one other one, but yeah. I mean, that was I think the boom is kind of went everywhere in college baseball, like the sound effect, and every team kind of has their own little, their own little spin on it. But ours
So,
isn't.
but you did
wasn't
something
PG
different.
related.
You went like something like that. Like, what does that signify? I see people doing that all the time. I'm like, what are they doing? Like,
I don't even know. That's out of body, man. Sometimes like, you black out and whatever happens, happens.
No, Ryan's the same way. Ryan does a bunch of like animatrix out there, bro.
You gotta have fun, yeah. I mean, I think Prince Fielder, man, that one, his home run celly, coming home and having everyone, when it's a walk-off home run, that was always one that I wanted to do so bad. I just never got the opportunity because also you don't want to jinx it. You don't want to be that guy that says, "Hey, guys, today I feel like I'm gonna hit a home run. Like let's do this." Like you never know when it's gonna happen. So the fact that he was able to plan that and execute, he was a stud.
So then I have this one here. We're going through these videos pretty quickly here. We're almost coming up on that. Like we got 15 minutes left before we bring on your guest here. I want to show this one.
Good streak going these last few at bats. We'll send one deep to left, back at the wall. See you later.
We just fly.
And Comia ties the game here in the bottom of the.
Bro, I feel like all your homers that we're showing are either tying the ball game, taking the lead, or walking it off. Like, is that when you hit homers, or like screw the first 5 innings? I'm just gonna save them for the back half of the game.
I mean, I definitely wasn't thinking I'm gonna save them, but I think I don't know. I mean, I love being in that spot, right? Like, those are the spots that everyone dreams about as a kid, or like you kind of put yourself in that situation, like the go-tos, bottom of the ninth, full count, bases loaded, 2 outs, tie game. So I think I always kind of enjoyed those moments, and really what helped me, like, I thought I was kind of a clutch player, so kind of the mindset that always helped me, which I tell a lot of guys, is like always be thankful and grateful for the moment. Like, don't be scared of what's going to happen. Just be thankful that you're there and you have the opportunity to do something.
True. So like this other video that I have here, it's one of the cool things. I actually enjoyed this video that's here because it shows like the true like character of what it's like to play at University of Illinois in a big game. Like it's taken, this video is taken from the stands. I'm not sure who took it, but it shows like how packed it could really get at these Big Ten games, especially playing at home. And it's this video here. It's just packed. Dude, that's all. That has to be sick.
Yeah, that's honestly like I love that stuff. Like, I think that was another like tie game, if I remember right. Like, so I mean, I loved playing there. Like, you talked about what's my favorite place to play at. Like, Illinois, we always kind of packed the stands. Like, we have a smaller stadium, but they were always filled, and like the fans were always engaged. So that's kind of why I loved like playing there.
So Champaign loves their Illini. Like,
Yeah,
they come out. For the Illini.
They show out for the Illini for sure.
Damn, that's awesome. My cousin went there. We had good times at U of I. I love U of I. You guys have
a lot of good times there.
Man, so that's college, man. I showed a lot of the things that you did. I have all the bombs. You finish off your career. I want to talk about that, which is one of the cool things is you have your Series 7. That's baller, bro. Like, having your Series 7 is Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort type stuff. All right. That's what they do. And that's really cool of you. And I have here, your sophomore stats, and I won't go through all of them. I know we got a couple minutes here. We still got to talk about other things, but number 4 shortstop in the nation by D1 Baseball. Like, what do you feel when you have people giving you these type of numbers, these rankings, like as a sophomore?
Yeah, I mean, I think
your head, or like, are you humbled, or are you like, damn, I'm the man? Are you walking into parties at U of I like, give me a beer, or don't have to ask?
No, I mean, I think there's kind of 2 ways you could look at it. You could think of like, oh yeah, like I'm all that, or they're right. But I mean, in all honesty, like when I saw that, I remember being like, number 4, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just who I was. Even if I probably
number
know
1.
I didn't deserve it. Yeah, like, but I mean, in your head, like, you got to always think like, why can't I be number 1? So I think that's kind of where it all stemmed for me. But no, I mean, I was honored and all that stuff for sure. But that was just kind of where I was at. Like I wanted to be number 1 by the end of it.
And you were all Big Ten. You were on all Big Ten academic, all Big Ten third team. You had 50 right here, tied for second on the team with 50 hits. It's probably not many games. I mean, what do you play? Like maybe 60 games a year before playoffs?
Yeah, like maybe I think it says 44 there. Yeah,
44 games. Yeah, 50 hits and 44. That's at least over a hit a game. It's pretty sick. Then you go to your junior year. Then you go to all Big Ten second team. You move up on a team. Now you're the number 20 MLB prospect in the Big Ten by, again, D1 baseball, which everyone knows D1 baseball. They're pretty accurate on their rankings. And Perfect Game, they're another big time website here, as well as ranked number 20th shortstop in the nation. Like, so now you're climbing the ranks, right? You're trying to get up to the number 1 spot. At what time are you thinking like, okay, like this is a reality? I can do something with this as a career. Like, did that go through your mind as a junior, as a sophomore? When was that in your head? Like, dude, I could do this.
I mean, to be honest with you, like I always wanted that. So that was always like my end goal, like was to get to pro ball. Like that's who I wanted to be. And I think, yeah, probably around that time where it was like, okay, this, could be a possibility for me. Like this is kind of getting, real at this point. But yeah, like I said, that was always kind of like my plan, what I wanted to do and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's a lot of people as well, especially when they're playing at a higher level. It starts to come together for sure over the years. But I think as a kid, right, like we all want to be Major League Baseball players, and we're about to start high school, or even when we start high school, and then it moves on to the next level, and we're lucky enough and blessed enough to be able to play to on the next level in college, and then at that point, it's like, man, really the next step is to go pro if I'm good enough. So this is where I really need to prove myself. So that's why it's so exciting to watch college baseball, and you have so many different guys from all over the nation, balling out. It's a blast to watch.
Dude, for sure. So then you're junior. Now you get to the senior year, and this one was pretty cool too. This one right here, the one I took about it's how you finish. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. You finished 247 hits, ranked 10th all time in the program history. Program history means all time ever. Like all time ever. And you got to top 10. Like, was that one of your biggest accomplishments in your baseball career right there? Were you like, that was pretty badass, I think.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's like my kind of biggest accomplishment as a baseball player. And it wasn't even, like I was going for it. It kind of just happened. Like I checked my phone after the game and saw they posted it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, wow. I didn't even know that was, I was close to that. So, yeah, it was definitely, a really, really cool experience for me. And just kind of to see it all kind of come through. And it's like, wow, I can say I actually did something with this.
And another one of those was you had a 60-game hit streak. Is that what it was? 60?
Yeah, I think it was on base. Yeah,
on base.
Yeah,
streak. That's insane, dude. 60 games to go on base at least once a game. I mean, I've gone 0 for 4, 0 for 3 here and there, and that's just men's ball. Like I could imagine top talent, you're getting on base at least once. Yeah. Were you in the top of the order at U of I, or where were you in the order typically?
Yeah, so I typically hit anywhere from like 1 to 3. It kind of just depended. Like it's kind of weird. My freshman and my 5th year, I hit leadoff like the whole year pretty much. And then other than that, it was usually 2, and then sometimes 3.
Are you a good bunter?
Yeah, I can bunt. I actually had this conversation. I don't do it. I never bunt it.
I don't think anybody likes to bunt. Ryan loves the bunt when I'm like yelling at him.
We need it. Yeah, I mean, like other than that, I'm going yard. Yeah.
My assistant coach. I remember one time I tried to lay down a bunt. He like calls timeout. He's like, "Come here." He's like, "If you put down a bunt, you better end up on second base somehow." And I was like, "All right, I'm not. I'm done. I'm not bunting."
That's me and Ryan's interaction every time he bunts. I'm like, Ryan, you're one of the best hitters in the whole city.
I'm like, bro, we did that wrong.
I will say this because I know there's a lot of young guys watching, and I had this conversation with the coach today. But the best, in my opinion, the best hitters I've played with, they're also amazing bunters. Like they could lay one down anytime they want. So like, there's got to be some correlation of just like getting your eyes behind it, seeing the ball. But
I guess we have a question here for you. Wait, I heard something. No, I heard this. Are all baseball shoes the same or are more comfortable than others?
Okay, like spikes then, right?
yeah,
What do you, I like personally? I like the New Balance. I like the Jordan brand. I don't know.
yeah. I think everyone's going to say New Balance is probably the most comfortable. I was always, I mean, we were Nike at Illinois, so I've always worn Nikes. They're probably not the most comfortable, in all honesty, though. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for comfortable, I'd probably go New Balance.
Natural
like
hitters are good.
New Balance also has the wide feature as well, so you can.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. I think a lot of guys are flat-footed, and sometimes that narrow shoe can really hurt. But yeah, the Jordans, I tried them this year, really for the first time. Yeah, they were killing my feet at first. It took them a while to break in. Like it was pretty much half the season, it was killing my feet. But New Balance for sure, I agree. Yeah, I think they're the most comfortable.
So Ryan, your dad's right. Natural hitters are good bunters. I tell people all the time, bro. I have like my home to first is maybe under like 30 seconds. I could probably hit under 30 seconds, but I tell people
pretty close. Yeah,
I tell people all the time, I can bunt, bro. I know how to bunt. And they're like, yeah, but you'll never ever try to bunt if you can't get the first base.
I just think I think it has to do with just understanding the bat and the weight and really the angle of it, and that's what makes good hitters is usually they can place it. There's not many good hitters you see that are just the dead pull hitters. You have to be a complete hitter. You got to be able to go the other way, and that's what I noticed in Branden's videos is he's going the other way. Regardless of if he's out in front, he's still keeping his hands in that pocket, snapping, and then being able to still direct it, to the right side of the ball field. Which if you can direct the ball like that, yeah, you're going to be a good hitter.
I've been looking at this video here, like over and over and slow-moing it and showing my son, like, just look. And I know that probably doesn't help him because he doesn't know what the hell to look for. He's probably, I'm just like, look at the hands. Look at this one right here. And I want to slow it down a little bit. I was like, hold on, let me pause it here and take this out. And it's the load. So you're kind of just you're standard here, load, get back. You have a lot. You both actually have this it's kind of a high leg kick, right? You're a high leg kick kind of guy. Both of you guys are actually, and you extend. I see the extension there. I love the extension on the front half. Your back leg, your back shoulder here, and then now you're ready to swing. And this is the pitch that's low and in, right?
This was down and away, so I hit like a liner out to right. This was my first at bat of my final year, actually.
Okay, so it's a low and away pitch, and you still get that back shoulder. Look at it, it's like almost on your hip. It's kind of like where it's supposed to be, I think. And you're whipping through, head down, good torque. My son was actually asking me this, and I'll be quick on it. Your front leg is kind of like on a bend. Mm-hmm. He's like, Dad, I thought you were supposed to be stiff on your front leg. I was like, well, sometimes you have to be athletic. I was like, sometimes you have to just go with what your body's telling you to go with in order to get the job done.
Yeah. And
right there, I don't know. I just like that video right there because I was able to like look at it, and I thought it was an inside pitch. I didn't know it was an outside pitch. So we'll continue this because we got to get our guest in here. But real quick, let's talk about post-college. U of I is done. You graduate with Series 7. I know you're going to be a financial advisor. You're going to be a very good financial advisor. I know that with your mentality and how you speak and your demeanor and your intellect alone. You took a year off I think, right? And then you played a little men's ball in the CSBL?
Yeah, so actually that was right when that was the first year I was out of college, and then this past summer I took a year off.
So where'd you play and who took you there?
Yeah, I played in I'm not even sure what league it was in, but
The CSBL, the collegiate league.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Andy Gayton brought me in, and he's like, "Yo, come play with this team," and it was the Rippers. So, shout out Jake Mills, Benny, Mickey, all you guys. But yeah, they were awesome to play with. So fun to play with those guys.
Awesome. Yeah, the Rippers are good, man. They always have a great talent. They're out of the MSL. I think Ryan knows the Rippers. He's played against the Rippers a lot. And they're good. They're around. They're in the MSL. They got a lot of good talent. But we're in 2025. Branden Comia is got the itch. Branden Comia wants to come out of retirement, doesn't he?
Yeah, I do.
He's got the itch. Where is Branden Comia playing this season?
I got this ready for you.
All right, where is Branden Comia coming out of retirement to play for? Who's he playing for? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, it's a little big, but we'll get one.
You'll get a new one.
We'll get a one. Yeah, I'm excited.
You're excited, man. I am excited as well. All three of us are going to be teammates. Branden Comia is coming out of retirement to play for La Barca baseball. La Barca's been around since 1972. They're coming back to the Azteca League. For you men's leagues guys that are watching this, I know a lot of you guys watch this. We're coming. La Barca is coming. We got pretty good talent. What do you expect for your first year in men's Sunday ball? Sunday ball is different, Branden. I got to tell you. You got to be ready for the chirping, the fields might not be the best bounces. Ryan could attest to this. But what are you looking forward to the most in your first year back here in men's baseball?
I think I'm seeing a chip in our future. That's all I'll say. That's what I'm looking forward to.
A chip?
Yeah. Bring on the chirps. Bring on all the trash talk. I love it. Makes me play better.
Well, there you go. I think you're going to have a lot of, good, strong competition that you're going to have fun with. I think that you can dominate the league just by put in the work all the time. I know you're always working, just like all of us that are, want to be better. And I'm very excited for that. I know there's a couple teams in the league. The White Sox, we don't know if you guys are coming back. Vic, if you're listening to this, stay in Azteca, bro. I need a challenge. We need a challenge. And I think that's something that you do not want to get away from. I know you got your thing in Blue Island, but I think you should stay on Azteca just so we could have old times of La Barca versus the White Sox. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in any league that we can play, multiple, they're champions in multiple leagues, right? So, if you get the opportunity to play that team, of course, them Rippers, the Brewers out in Blue Island, a couple other teams that are scattered around, even in Burbank, the Aztecs. When you can play those teams, those are the teams you want to play. That's what you sign up for. Unfortunately, they're going to be low level teams, and that's just how it goes. But the ones that are really fun and bring out the fire are those solid teams. And when you have that matchup, it's a blast. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a change. I think any guy can tell you, especially coming out of retirement, that same fire, and you've played on some big stages. It's gonna be a little bit different. Sometimes you're gonna have a 9 a.m. game. And there's, you went out the night before or whatever, and it's tough to create that fire yourself. Especially when maybe the team you're playing isn't the best. But ultimately, everyone starts the game at 0-0, and you got to start something. So I'm excited.
Branden, are you bilingual?
No, I'm a fast learner though. Also, Ryan, to go off what you just said, like night after drinking, I play better after I drink.
Hey, the best players do. That a boy. Hey, right in, man. I'm telling you, yeah. Sometimes you play even better if you're still a little buzzed. Is what I heard. I don't know. I've never.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna definitely be fun, especially with you two guys in the mix. You guys working up the middle together, and we also have Aaron Martinez. Shout out to Aaron Martinez. He was just at practice, man. That kid is coming. He's young. He's 22, 23 years old. He's hungry. Great hands, great speed. He's well known around the league as being good with his hands. He's quick on his feet, probably one of the faster guys in the league. And having a defense like that up the middle and on the corners it's gonna make us tough. It's gonna definitely make us tough, and I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen. And then we got Vic catching. My brother. He's a dog back there. Not just because he's my brother, but Vic, you're a dog, bro. Like you're doing your thing, and I think you're the best catcher in the city, and I really do, and I'll say that with pride. You're not just because you're my brother, but I think you are that dog, bro. I think you got a little Zaragoza blood in you, man. I was like, but now I think there's one more guy that we might want to shout out, and I think he might want to join the squad. We got to get him. Both of you guys know him, Andy Gaitan. I know you're listening. I know you're out there, bro. We're here. Join the show, Andy. Join the show, baby. Andy Gaitan, a great teammate, a great person. Him and his dad, they're great family people to my family. Nino, if you're watching, I know you are. I think we spoke. But yeah, this season, Branden, I'm excited that you're joining us on La Barca. You're gonna have a lot of fun. We're a fun team. We're gonna do some great things, and I think with you, in the heart of that order, it's a lot of possibilities, man. Everyone's gearing up to come strong. I just saw Michoacan. Shout out Michoacan. They're coming. They got a couple guys, man. I saw them at the cages. They got a couple really talented ball players that I saw. You got the Bravos again. You got a couple other teams that are in there. Gavilanes are teaming up with a few teams. I think that league's going to be very good. And one of the things I do want to breaking news, I will say it right now, is the All-Star tournament is going to happen. For everyone that's watching, the All-Star tournament is between Azteca, the South Shore League, which is Ryan up north, right? They're up Indiana. Burbank, which is the Yankees. Shout out Al and the Yanks, 2-time champs. And the Blue Island League. There's going to be an All-Star tournament, Branden, one day on 4th of July. Every league's going to send their best, and I think it's going to be a very fun show. It's going to be a fun show. I think the Azteca is going to bring some heavy hitters. Whoever wants to play in the other leagues, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you, Azteca, Burbank, and Blue Island and the South Shore leagues are all bringing their best, and it's going to be one of the most fun, entertaining days of baseball this summer. It's going to be basically the best of the city. Indiana, I call the city. They're the city. They're right inside.
Yeah, no, I mean,
tell me a little bit about what you think, Ryan.
Got some great guys out there. I just had an interview. It'll be something I'm posting later, but I got an interview with the owner of the league, which is Jeremy Ortiz out in Indiana. It's the South Shore Adult Baseball League, and just on the border of Indiana. Great league. They've got some great stuff coming, so I'm going to be posting that interview sometime this week. But that's the owner, Jeremy Ortiz, doing some great things out there, and his team's going to be tough to beat. I'll tell you that. They've got some guys out there, but I think it's anyone's ball game, especially on the 4th of July. Hopefully people stay in town and we can really bring the best and have a great tournament. It should be fun.
I think they're going to bring their best. Something tells me that people are not going to miss that game. That's going to be that tournament's going to be a lot of fun, man. They got pitchers everywhere. There's pitching all over the city, and we're going to see the best of it as hitters. But then again, our hitting could take over the show. So I'm always on the hitter side because I'm a hitter. I'm not a pitcher. I say beat the pitcher's ass. I'll tell you that 100 times out of 100. I was like, as long as the hitter hits that pitcher, you always win. So, but I'm excited. That's a little breaking news there for those that are watching. That tournament's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So we're done. We're here. We're at the end of the show. We got the 9th inning, right? I still got to do a couple little sponsors here. I know went off script. I'm gonna throw a little bit of sponsors. Then Branden, I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and introduce your guest for today. Okay.
All
right. So for the sponsorships of the show, I'm gonna bust them out here. We got. Should I add these ready? So you can tell I'm still working on some things, right?
Okay. This is the second episode.
Second episode, right? So we got Big Baseball. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Vega Baseball and our sponsorship with Vega Baseball and the iRake Mentality podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it. So this is Vega Baseball, led by my father, who created it in 2007, which is professional baseball instruction throughout the Illinois area. We've been doing, like I said, he started it in 2007. We've trained, kids from 8 to 80. So that's usually our slogan. Anything younger than 8, we recommend, just kind of getting them active and into it. But really, at 8 years old, that's where we can really capitalize. But we've trained people all the way up to men's leagues and really senior leagues, and up to 80 years old. So there's not an age group that we can't help, whether that's off-season training or in-season training as well. So, like I mentioned, the Romeoville Titans is the travel team that I go out to, have been going out to recently, and they're doing some awesome work out there at the Quarry Fieldhouse. So, there's really not an area we won't go to, but ultimately, we love doing it. We've been doing it for a while now. We mostly specialize in infield training and pitcher training, but we do have some outfield and catcher coaches as well. So, if you
Awesome.
need any training, let us know.
Vega Baseball, check them out. Hit the link. The next one we have here is Inspire Brand. Every single guest on this show gets the Inspire Brand. It's magnesium bath soak. They have plenty of other products: sleep gummies, good vibe gummies, mushroom gummies for focus. As you look here, actually, one of the cool things is they do have dog products for calming and anxiety, discomfort, joint ligaments. They have a lot of those dog treats. So if you have dogs, like I said, everyone knows I have 2 pit bulls and I love them to death. Give them a lot of the anxiety medicine, a lot of the joints. One of the cool things is if you're into bodybuilding, actually one of the Miss Olympia 3-time fitness figure, I believe it's right here. She uses these products, man. Like, that's 3-time Olympia. If you know anything about it, Olympia top. That's the pro of the. That's like winning the World Series for bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're looking at those products and they're using those products, definitely recommend Inspire Brand. Mike Lacombe right here. He's a baseball guy. He's played with me at Kishwaukee College, Jersey. Back there, we were teammates. He's been playing with me for 20 plus years now. The guy drops bombs. He's in Burbank. Great guy, great best friend of mine. And here he is right here with a couple of competitors that he trains. If you need training, there's an app called Pit Fitness. Hit up the DMs, hit up me. If you have my number, hit me up. Get you in contact with Mike and his app. If you're looking to lose weight, gain muscle, get in shape for the season, let me know. I'm down 20 pounds in the last 2-3 weeks, just getting ready for the season. He'll hook you up. All right. Lastly, we got our final sponsor of the day is going to be Benny Calisano. And Benny Calisano is another pitcher. You spoke, Ben. You know Benny, right, Brandon?
Yeah,
Benny?
I love Benny.
Benny's great, man.
He's a dog.
He's a dog, but he's a wonderful person, even better person, great baseball player. He will hook you up. If you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking into property for businesses, if you're looking or selling, call Benny Calisano. He's out of Orland Park over there by Lockport area, Mokina area, but he will go all over into the city, to the burbs. He was showing me houses all the way down in Indiana. The guy will travel for you. He will work for you. He'll give you the best he's got, and he sells like crazy. He buys like crazy. The guy knows what he's doing. Give him a shout, Benny Calisano. So this is the next segment of the podcast here. And go ahead, Brandon. Introduce us, your guest today on the 9th inning call to the bullpen. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my guest, he's a dear friend of mine. He's actually been my best friend probably since we were like 11, 12 years old. Played at Illinois with me. Without further ado, Cam McDonald.
I know I've been gone for a minute. I'm trying to work on my image, and most of these niggas won't get it. I'ma be me to the end of the day, but they never listen. I gotta spit all the shit that I'm living, cause some of y'all think this a gimmick, it's not. I started out, I was scraping the pot while I'm feeding the block. Fresh out of school, coming home to the trap, and I used to go play with them Simmons and Glock. Only say if you gon' rap with a pistol and make sure it's cocked, you don't know who be a op. Chickens, they envy the ones who be getting that money, cause them niggas ain't getting enough. I see that shit gon' go to this brother, cause it was she was Niggas be f***ed up, thick, yeah, but she stuck up. Still finna get her the stuck up, still on the come up. Talk tough, you can run up. Glock 19, make them shut up. Stop.
What's going on,
up,
boys?
Bro? What up?
What up, dude?
What's going on, Cam?
Nada.
Bro,
Just listening to B, the man.
Bro, so thank you for joining us today, Ryan. This is Cam. Cam, thanks for joining us, man. Your guys' story is one for the ages, bro. Two best friends go to college together, chasing each other on the record books. You know, just overall baseball guys. Tell me a little bit about Branden and your story going back to when you guys first met and through on to college.
So I think, I'm not sure if I'm right on the age, but we're around 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Right around there. And we played against each other. And B was a shortstop on the other team. And I was a shortstop on my hometown team, both our hometown teams. Right there. That's a picture.
Literally, the first time we ever met, my mom just accidentally, just happened to snap that picture, not knowing who he was or anything.
Yeah, B was a stud though. Like he was the man. Like I knew who he was instantly. Like I think he had 5 hits against us. I was like, dang, this dude's a dog. And then I don't know if anything ever came up of it for a year or two. And then one time we did a camp at the Bo Jackson Dome in Lockport, and he was at the camp, and we met and we just started talking or whatever. And I was like, B, what's the name of your team again?
The Warriors, Orland Park Warriors.
Orland Park Warriors. I was like, dude, you play shortstop for them, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you rake, bro. I'm trying to get like you. So I started hanging out with B because I wanted to get like him. And then we obviously went through that whole camp thing. And then our parents would always talk. We'd talk at the Bo Dome when we'd be hitting and stuff. B, what age did you go over to the Sparks?
I think it was that year. That was the reason I was. So probably 11 to 12 is when we kind of met back at the Dome, was probably that age.
Yeah. So you went over to the Sparks. I didn't go over to the Sparks for a couple of years. And I think I went over at 15 or 16. And B was a big reason why I got on the A team. I was borderline with the Sparks. I don't know if I was our 8 or 9 hitter at the time. And B pushed for me to get on that team. And honestly, I don't know where I'd be without B. I mean, dude, he got me to Illinois as well. Probably was a big reason why I was there. I probably would have been at a JUCO without him. Dude believed in me and told our coaches about me, and they came out and watched me play. I had no real offers until late into my junior year of high school, and Illinois came watch me play and offered me, and I asked him if I could accept right away, without thinking about it at all. Which now thinking about it, how that shaped my life, I don't know if that was the smartest decision ever, just to be I'm in. I've been here for 7 years now, and I'm on staff. So
you're probably calling Branden hey, what's our address to our new apartment?
Yeah, that's literally all I was thinking about. I was like, dang, I'm gonna get to live with the boys. Let's go. There was a couple other dudes I knew on the team. I was like, this is gonna be sick.
Dude, I mean, yeah, you're going to the University of Illinois. First off, the school alone, besides sports, is amazing. If any of you guys have ever visited U of I, it looks like castle after castle after 1800s buildings left and right. It looks majestic. And then there's the big, I don't know if they took it down, but the Hugh Hefner statue. I don't know if they ever put that back up, but they used to have a Hugh Hefner statue.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'd hear them. He donated some house to his fraternity that was a freaking mansion. Dude, we just walk past that thing all the time.
Did you guys ever wonder what it would be like if you did join a fraternity? Because I know athletes can't join fraternities, right? Or is it frowned upon?
Yeah, it's frowned upon, but we definitely got our time in at the fraternity. Somehow we were sneaking in. We have some stories, don't we, Cam? Probably shouldn't share them.
No, not as a coach.
Yeah, don't want the players hearing those, but
what's one of the most memorable parts of you guys playing at University of Illinois together? It has to involve both of you. Is there a play? Is there I don't know, a story that you can say that you're just dude, I'm playing with my best friend at University of Illinois and this is awesome?
You got one, Kim?
I did. All I got is like that's coming to my head right now is like there's a picture of us at short and third. You're at short and I'm at third, and that's like, and we're freshmen too.
Yeah.
And like I didn't even really realize it until like our junior or senior year, like how cool that was. Like just like we look so young in the picture, and just going back and looking at that's like really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of crazy stories though. B, you got a good one?
Yeah. I mean, no, not a specific, but I think really what it is for me is just like Cam was like always around me. Like we were around each other all the time. Like even in summer ball, our freshman year, I think that was around the time maybe me and Cam got a little sick of each other. Like we lived together our whole freshman year, lived together the whole summer ball, and like, you know, I really feel like there was no point in my college career where like Cam wasn't right there with me. So
I mean, that's awesome. Like I wish. Dude, if I played D1, I'd love to bring my best friend with me. Or Matt, if you're listening, man, you could have brought me to Northern with you, dog. I went to Kishwaukee, which is we still live together, but it would have been cool to play with, you know, at the time, my best friend and be able to play ball with him. And we played high school, and he ended up playing men's baseball with me. He's a Northern Illinois guy, lefty pitcher. You know, played for the Yankees organization, AA. He's one of my great friends, and I could only imagine like how cool that would have been. So Cam, I know you come on as a guest here, and thanks for joining us again. You have it's a book, and I read the book. It was like a memoir, and honestly, I was telling Branden, I read this book a couple days ago, and I took a lot from it. It was actually, I do recommend this book to so many people because I even took Blake, my son, to Branden to train him, and I was taking some pointers out of your book actually the night before, like trying to like tell my son, like, okay, do this, try this. We're doing dry hacks in his room off of like the book and like some of the skill work. And I sent it to him. I kept it on my phone. Like the cool thing about this book, and I'll show it right here, it's you can keep it off the Amazon Kindle onto your phone. So when I go to the cages with my son, I could open the book and then look at the training things that you have in there and kind of go over them and do them with them while I have it on my phone. I thought that was cool.
That's legit that you liked it and that you guys are doing the dry work, because that's kind of like how I envisioned it for people, is like to be able to like help their son and like go through things like that. So that's really cool. I love that. Cool.
Tell me more about the book. I'll talk more about it on my end, but go ahead. Tell us what got you into making this book and going through it.
So I was doing a coaches clinic in the Quad Cities for the Quad City Hitmen. So there's a bunch of coaches from each age level that came, and they wanted to do a QR code with a bunch of content on there for the coaches to have. So I started writing like a hitting portion for it. And one night I was just kind of hanging out. I had a couple coffees, maybe an energy drink, and I was just writing. I wrote like 15, 16 pages, and I like just kind of kept going. And the guy who runs the organization, like, dude, you could like make something out of this, like a training regimen or like a book or a program for guys to use. And I was like, okay,
that's
like,
a great word.
And then I like,
it's more like a program. I said, that's a great term. I was like, that's more like a program. It's like you're giving people a program to use to better themselves as a hitter.
Yeah, my biggest thing with it was I didn't want it to be like the same for everybody. Like there's a bunch of different training programs in there for different guys who have different athleticism, are in different parts of their career. Maybe their path's a little off. Maybe they're working on getting a little bit more explosive hitting. So I really tried to make it like where you can pick and choose what you want to do and put in your routine. Like, so you still have to have the discipline as the player or as the parent or whatever to be able to make your own routine. It's not just like the routine's there and here, you got to do it. Like there's some things you got to think about, like some critical thinking skills that you have to have.
Definitely. And like I said, like I'm a baseball guy, and this book I recommend to every facet of life in baseball. If you're a dad that might not know about baseball, like, if you just never played the sport and your son really wants to play baseball, pick up this, this program. This is going to definitely help you and give you a step-by-step guide of what to kind of do, like what kind of drills to work on. Like, and it makes it easy. It makes it easy for a parent like myself to read it and say, oh, that makes sense of why he's doing that drill. And you explain it perfectly in the book of what to go and do. And then one of the other things I really enjoyed is that you have YouTube clips of how to do them. That was cool. I do speak on, even guys that are going into baseball now, men's leagues. I'll talk about men's leagues. There's a lot of guys here that, go and join a team that haven't played baseball in a very long time, right? Or guys that never even played and just want to go join a team that have fun. Guys, pick up the book, go read it, do the drills, like do them yourself. It's a very good book, and I loved it. I was telling Branden about it. I was all about it with my son, and I'm definitely going to use it because it's good for every baseball player, whether you're a beginner, whether you're a dad that's coaching your son, whether you're still playing and you want to get better. Because one thing I do advise a lot of people, no matter how good you think you are, you could always be better. I don't feel like we could stop growing at any point. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm 38 or 22, you can always be better at your craft. And I think this book is, very good for that. One of the cool things I see in your book is that you had right here, you had Mike Massey give you a good recommendation. Mike Massey, you both played with him?
Yep. Our freshman year, we both did.
Okay. And as a hitter, he's probably one of the best hitters that you probably played with, or what's his strength?
Yeah. I'd say his strength is just consistency in his mindset. I wouldn't say his tools by any means are insane. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's in the big leagues. His tools are really good, but the way that he's able to come back every day and stick with his process, even after, because I mean, he's had a bunch of, I don't want to say setbacks, I guess setbacks throughout his career, injury wise, just struggling, things he's had to go through that he's been able to get through. Like when people look from afar, he made it to the big leagues pretty fast out of college, but I mean, there's a lot of things that didn't go his way that he was able to figure out. Like, he's just an elite problem solver, and I kind of talk about that in the book. Like, that dude is an elite problem solver.
Speak more on what you mean about problem solver, because that was a great point in the book.
When things go wrong, just being able to figure out why, like always on top of why they're going wrong, rather than feeling sorry for yourself. Being able to get past that and look for solutions in different ways, and having a bunch of areas to where you can go when you're struggling, rather than just feeling sorry for yourself. A little bit too, like going on that is like the passionate detachment part I talked about is like being passionate for the game, hungry to get better, but not to the point of when you struggle that you're so down on yourself that you get in your own way. Right.
And dude, today, I'll tell you this, that book, today I was in the cages. Me and Ryan were at the cages with LaBarca, my men's team. And one of my rounds I finished with, like, I got under it and I popped it up, and I came out the cage, and the pitcher's like, hey, take another, finish on a strong one. And I remembered the book, and I was like, you don't always have to finish on a good swing. And I walked out the cage, and they're like, come on, finish on a good swing. And I remember the book, and I was like, that's right, because every game you might not finish on a good swing. I was like, it's about the work.
Yeah, and that's just training it for the season, right? Because especially if you're playing professional baseball or in college, you play a lot of games, right? And you're going to have a lot of games where you don't play well. Even like if you hit over 300, like B can attest to this too as well. Like in college, we both hit over 300 a couple times, but those years we still had times where we hated baseball a little bit. Like there was times that didn't go well and we weren't in great headspaces. It's just kind of like you're going to fail more times than you're going to have success in baseball. So in your off-season training program, you have to be able to fail. Like if you just have success all off-season, you might feel great going into the season, but once you face adversity, you're not going to be able to get through it.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes the great baseball players and the good baseball players, and it separates them. It's their mentality, and that's the premise of this show. It's the iRake mentality. It's getting in the box and having that confidence / cockiness, but right in the middle, to know that you're good enough to hit this guy, and if you don't, and say you fail that one at bat, that you're still good. Like your hard work still carries over to your next at bat. because of where the pitch is located or whatever you might have missed. Like a mechanic like issue or something. That one at bat doesn't mean you're gonna have it again in the second at bat.
Yeah, totally. The other thing too, I'd say is like for the younger guys listening is just like have a word or two that you use to go back to when you're struggling, right? When that other side of your brain, that devil on your left shoulder is talking to you saying that you're not good enough. You can't play at this level. Like have something that you tell yourself. Like for me, it was always see it. And I know B, what was your word that you would use?
Can't say it.
Can you say it on here?
No, can't say it.
Yeah, one of mine I can't say on here either. But like, I mean, and if I remember B's right, that's like something that you use like when you're doubting yourself, like you're talking yourself out of it in the batter's box, basically, is what you're doing. And like that's something you have to train. That's a skill. Like it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
To be mentally strong.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'll say this, Cam, you were always way better at that stuff than I was. Like, that's like another thing. Like I remember about us, we were freshmen living in the same dorm together, like 2 feet away from each other. And I just remember like talking through mental stuff with Cam, or like, he'd always kind of say like, when I was early on in my career after I made an out, like Cam was the only dude that could come talk to me. I was that guy. So like,
oh, you were feisty.
I was just,
yes, he was.
He was a feisty guy.
I was a diva. I'll say that, right? But like, Cam always really helped me through that stuff. Truly, like, I mean, just obviously because we're boys, but he was always really thinking about like the mental side of that stuff. And when I did read your book, like the passion detachment was something I was like, that was something that you thought about that I did not. You know what I'm saying? So like, I even throughout my lessons now, like I bring you up all the time. Like, me and my roommate always talked about this, or my roommate Cam did that. So like, guys, if you're thinking about getting the book, like seriously, go get a copy.
Go get the book. It's very helpful. I'm telling you, like, I don't just say just to say it because you're a guest on my show. I put it to action in 48 hours with my son, with myself, and it's just a different mental aspect of what most people can't get. Most people have to go to a trainer, have to go to this multiple sessions over and over and over to understand just a little bit of what you're trying to speak in the book. And if you just have the book in your pocket, which I do, it's in my pocket all the time on my phone, to go over it and then tell the next generation, not only my son and the coaches and the kids I coach, but I'm using that for probably the rest of my life. And it was like literally 48 hours. And I was like telling, a couple of people that were here when I was reading it, I was like, look. And then they would look. They don't know what they're not baseball people. They're just looking at whatever. But in my head, I'm just like, that makes 100% sense because that's how you're supposed to look at the game. It's mentally, who said it? Baseball is what? 90% mental and 10% physical. It was one of the biggest quote in baseball. And it's 100% true because a mentally weak person is not going to make it in baseball. And a mentally strong person, whether they might not have the skill of a really athletic person, will make it where they can actually advance further in their career just because their mentality is different.
Totally agree with that.
I definitely like that book. So you guys catch it on Amazon. But well, today we're at hour 30 and we're done with the show here today. I'm so glad that you guys were able to jump on, Branden and Cam. Ryan, you got any last words to say?
I think it was nice to meet you, Branden. You as well, Cam. But looking forward to this season. I think that LaBarca's putting together a team, and it should be a lot of fun. But ultimately, when you get a group of guys that have had a lot of success already and know what to do, and know how to win championships, know how to win ball games, that's when you got something special. So looking forward to playing with you this season. But that's about it for me. Had a great time, Jesse. Good episode 2, and I wonder who's going to be on episode 3.
Well, episode 3's they'll find out in a couple of days. It will be next Sunday. From now on, we will be doing an episode every single week until the season starts, which is another 10 weeks from now. And then from there on, we're going to get more into like the men's aspect of baseball. But for Ryan, for Cam, for Branden, thank you for joining us on this episode of iRake Mentality Podcast. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. See you, boys.
See you. Thanks, Jesse.